Hello all, welcome to Amigos IAS Academy. In today's video, we shall be discussing three important topics which are published in the Hindu newspaper. So these are the three important topics which we shall be discussing as part of this video. The first topic is about Sample Registration System 2021. As you have seen in the newspaper, the Sample Registration Survey data is being released. The Sample Registration Survey data is collected annually by the Office of Registrar General of India. So this is the largest demographic survey which is conducted in India. So I have already mentioned it is conducted annually by Registrar General of India. Now, what are the key findings as part of your Sample Registration Survey report of 2021? The first finding is about maternal mortality rate. What is maternal mortality rate? It is the number of maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births in India in a given period of time. So maternal mortality rate is calculated for 1 lakh live births. Remember that. Now there is a decline in the maternal mortality rate in India. That is, it reduced from 130 in 2014 to 16 to 93 in 2019 to 21. So there is a decline in maternal mortality rate. Then what is the SDG of maternal mortality rate, which is fixed? That is to achieve maternal mortality rate that is equals to 70 or less than 70. Now we are at 93, but we have to achieve 70 by 2030. Next is about child mortality. Under your child mortality, there are three important indicators. First one is neonatal mortality rate, second is your infant mortality rate, and third is your under 5 mortality rate. The first is neonatal mortality rate. What is neonatal mortality? For calculating neonatal mortality rate, the time period from the time of the birth until the baby reaches 29 days is considered. So if the baby dies before reaching 29th day, that would be considered as your neonatal mortality rate. So from the time of the birth to 29 days. So the number of deaths per 1000 live births will be considered for your neonatal mortality rate. So here 1000 live births will be considered. Whereas your MMR 1 lakh live births will be considered. Now even for neonatal mortality rate, there is a decline in trend from 26 in 2014 to 19 in 2021. Then what is the SDG goal under neonatal mortality rate is to achieve less than or equals to 12. Now we are at 19, but we have to achieve the rate of 12 by 2030. Moving on to the next is about infant mortality rate. For infant mortality rate, the time period from the birth of the baby till the baby achieves 1 year will be considered. So this is the time period which is considered for your infant mortality rate. For neonatal mortality rate, we are considering till 29 days. Here we are considering till 1 year of the birth. Now here also we are considering the number of deaths per 1000 live births in a given period. Means again we are considering 1000 live births. Here even the infant mortality rate has a decline trend, that is from 39 in 2014 to 27 in 2021. Moving on to the last, that is under 5 mortality rate. Here the children who are below the age group of 5 years is considered, and here again 1000 live births is considered. Means the number of deaths per 1000 live births in a given period is considered for your under 5 mortality rate. Even this is showing a decline trend, that is from 45 in 2014 to 31 in 2021. Then what is the SDG target? To achieve equals to or less than 25. Now we are at 31, we have to achieve less than or equal to 25 by 2030. The next observation made is about sex ratio at birth. What is sex ratio? The number of females for 1000 males is considered to be sex ratio of the population. Now it improved, that is there are 899 females per 1000 males in 2014, but now there are 913 females for 1000 males in 2021. It shows that the females are increased when compared to males. Now Total fertility rate. What is the meaning of total fertility rate? Average number of children a woman can bear in her reproductive age is your total fertility rate. So the total fertility rate in India in 2021 is 2. Means average 2 children can be born by a woman in her reproductive age. Bihar reported the highest TFR at 3. Means the woman in Bihar can bear up to 3 children in her reproductive age. So Bihar is the highest total fertility rate at 3. Now what is life expectancy? At birth, the life expectancy is 69.8, but this has shown decline in 0.2 years when compared to 2016 to 2020 data. So there's a decline in your life expectancy at birth by 0.2 years. What is the life expectancy of male who are present in India? 68.2 years. What is the life expectancy of females in India? It is 71.6 years. So this is the data given about the life expectancy. The only thing which you have to remember is there's a decline by 0.2 years when compared to data of 2016 to 2020. Now, proportion of the economically active population between 15 to 59 years has reached 66.2% of the total population. If you observe, this is the working population and this becomes your demographic dividend. Now, this shows that India is at an edge of demographic dividend as the total population of 15 to 59 years has reached to 66.2%. So, these are the few important observations as part of your SRS 2021. Now, in today's newspaper, there's an important information about the state Telangana where there's an increase in MMR observed when compared to last year's data. So Telangana's MMR has increased from 43 to 45 in this year. So that's what mentioned in the newspaper. So 45 maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births is what 2021 data, but it is increased from 43 maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births in 2018 to 2020. So this shows the MMR ratio is at an increasing trend, which shows the health of the woman is not taken into consideration by present public policy. Kerala leads the country with the lowest MMR. So Kerala is the first country which achieved the MMR of 20 and followed by Maharashtra 38 MMR, and third place is taken by Telangana 45. Telangana, though it is at the third position, but it has seen an increased trend in MMR. That's what is given in today's article. That's all about the first article. Now let us move on to the second article. So moving to the second article of the day is about e-waste. India's ambition to achieve Viksit Bharat is supported by rapid digitalization. The digital infrastructure supports your economic growth, connectivity and innovation. If you observe, even to watch this particular video, you have to use a smartphone or laptop, which are again your electronic devices. The only byproduct of increased digitalization is increase in e-waste. So this article is majorly focusing on how to handle the e-waste, what is the impact of improper handling of the e-waste, and what are the steps which has to be taken by the government. So this is useful for your mains answer writing. Please make a note of the observations which are made by the author in this particular article. So the first observation which he made is India's e-waste volume soared by 151.03% in 6 years. So this shows rapid usage of electronic devices by people of India. Now, what is the impact of improper e-waste management? In this article, the author has given few scientific and evidence-based observations which you can use in your UPSC mains answer writing. The first observation which the author made is India loses more than $10 billion annually due to pollution which is caused by e-waste, whether it can be your water pollution, air pollution or soil pollution. India is losing $10 billion because of mishandling of e-waste management. E-waste recycling causes a social loss of over 20 billion annually. Why is it causing social loss? Because improper management of e-waste can cause your water pollution, air pollution and can reduce the lifeline of the people whoever is consuming that polluted air or water. So that's why it is causing social loss of over $20 billion annually. Average lifespan is less than 27 years due to prolonged exposure to toxic substances. This lifeline is for the people who are collecting the e-waste. If you observe, most of the informal e-waste collection is done by majorly women and children. Whoever is exposed to e-waste, their lifespan is reduced to 27 years only. Why? There is an increased exposure to chemicals which are produced from the e-waste. So this is the greatly disadvantage towards your women and the children who are collecting the e-waste. India forfeits over 80,000 crore annually in loss of critical metal value due to rudimentary extraction methods. So e-waste has huge potential for circular economy, as whatever minerals which are used in e-waste, they can be recycled and they can be reused. So India is losing literally 80,000 crores because we don't have technology to extract the minerals from the e-waste. So this is the loss of India. At least 20 billion in an annual tax revenue is lost, as informal recycling is largely cash based and unaccounted for. So as the e-waste collection is largely informal, we are losing $20 billion annually. So this is the loss and impact on economy, on the health of the people, which are made by author. Now, what is author suggesting to be followed? Author is suggesting to follow EPR floor pricing. Before understanding this concept, you should be understanding what is the extended producer responsibility under your e-waste management rules of 2022. So, extended producer responsibility is mainly introduced under your e-waste management rules of 2022. Under this, the producer is mandated to achieve annually set recycling targets through registered recyclers. Means, there's a recycler and this is your producer. So producer has to pay some incentives to this recycler who will be recycling your e-waste. Once he pays some incentives to recycler, he will be getting a EPR certificate. So this EPR certificate mandates that producer has reached the certain limits which are set by the government, that is recycling limits are being achieved by a producer. So this is the mechanism which is introduced under your e-waste management rules of 2022. Now, whatever the incentive which he is paying to the recycler is called as floor price. So the floor price is paid by your producer to recycler for recycling the e-waste on behalf of your producer. So this is the mechanism which is introduced. Now what the author is suggesting? The author is suggesting to increase the price which is paid by the producer to recycler, so that more incentives are given to your recycler and recycler can involve more manpower and technology to recycle e-waste. So this is the first suggestion which is given by the author under this article. What else can be done is the next thing. So what are the steps that can be taken other than EPR floor pricing? First step is formalization of your e-waste. Largely the waste collection in India is in informal sector. So just formalize it so that the more benefits can be obtained from formalization. The second is extending the life cycle of your product. It means that give the opportunity of right to repair to customers so that every producer has that obligation to repair the product and give it back to the customer. So such right to repair is introduced by European Union. The same can be implemented in India also, so that the product's lifeline can be increased. Third one is follow global practices like EU. EU has imposed stringent penalties and punishments for recycling. Whoever don't abide by that, they would be given stringent punishment. And Japan has introduced national e-waste fees to be collected so that it can be used for recycling of the e-waste produced in the country. So such practices can be introduced in India also. And fourth one is e-waste ATM. We all know that e-waste is very harmful for our planet, but we don't know where to submit our e-waste. So for such thing, establish e-waste ATMs everywhere, like nearby areas, so that the user can go and deposit the e-waste with the ATM, and in return he can get some incentives. So such mechanism should be introduced in India also. And fifth is e-waste tax credit. Means whichever producer is able to meet the recycling target, he should be given the tax credit. It is like incentive to the producer for meeting his recycling target. And awareness. Increase the awareness among the population. This is the most important step for any problem which is involved in India. So increase the awareness among the population. So that's all. In this topic, we have discussed what is the impact of e-waste on India's economy and health of the people, and what steps can be taken to minimize the impact of e-waste on country. Moving on to the next article. So this is about DRC, that is your Democratic Republic of the Congo. I think in the last week's daily news analysis also we have discussed about DRC and Rwanda's peace pact, which is brokered by USA. Now DRC is again in news because of floods which hit the eastern part of DRC, and that too in the lake of Tanganyika. Please go home and open the atlas and make a note of the capital of DRC, where is the lake situated, and what are the countries which are surrounding the DRC. So this is the most important topic, as it is twice in this month this is in the news. So do make a note of DRC and the places surrounding the DRC. It is important for your upcoming prelims examination. Now moving on to mains practice question. So this is the practice question given on the e-waste. Please do attempt the practice question. That's all for today's discussion. We shall meet tomorrow with a new topic. Thank you.